Well, this is my first cha-cha, so once this thing starts rolling, I'm just going for it. I'm diving in, so it'll be great.
Just give us a cue.
All right, let's do it. The thing you need to know about me, folks, is that I love my work, and we're talking about work today, and so I wanted to share with you why I love my work, how that bleeds over into helping the poor and the homeless, and how I think it would apply to you as well. Because it's important to love your work. It's important to really care about it and to feel that like it's more than just a task. And a lot of people think, well, of course you love your work because you're helping the poor. It's such a noble thing. But you know what? I feel like that's a view people have of every job from 30,000 feet. To me, it's a struggle. It's a push. I feel sometimes in my work like I'm the beggar, like because I'm always asking for money and trying to get people to help other people, and it's a real challenge. And so it's not just about having an easy job. It's about finding work that's really meaningful. So the definition of work is the exertion of effort directed to produce or accomplish something. It's labor or toil. And the challenge with work is often that people look at it just like that. It's just the toil of it all. They're looking at a specific task. And so they think, well, I don't like my work, and we know most people don't like their work. But I try to turn it around in my own life and not just look at the task of it, but try to look at it as accomplishing something. And in my life, I want it to be that my work accomplishes a greatness of character in me, and that my work accomplishes a greatness of character in the people that I'm trying to serve. Now, when you serve homeless people, you hear this every once in a while. I send out letters to thousands of people every month. Maybe you've gotten one. Every once in a while, they send one back and say, hey, you're an enabler. Get these bums working. And that's kind of exactly what I'm talking about, is that people think the answer, even for the homeless people, is just to get a task. Give these people a task, and they'll be happy, and they'll be productive. But you know what? It's not just about a task. This guy, they see a picture like this, and they think, yeah, see, no, he just needs a job. And that's the way they view it. But you know what? It's not just a task. You can't just give somebody a task, and they find meaning and value in it. The challenge that I face in my work is that these people have lost their sense of who they are, what their purpose is. And so the goal for me is that work creates a greater sense of meaning in the poor. That we can help these people develop who they are to the point where they feel like they have purpose and value, and they're contributing something really great. And that's most illustrated, I guess, in my friend Willie here. Willie is a guy who, now he look like a handsome guy, and he is a handsome guy. But when I first met him, he sort of looked a little bit like Morpheus from the Matrix. He had dark glasses all the time. He wore this long dark trench coat, and Willie was on the street for 25 years. He was an alcoholic. He came from a terribly abusive background. He's called Willie because his dad named him after the family dog and told him, you're not going to be worth anything. And so Willie lived on the street for 25 years. He was a guy just like this. People stepped over him. He was just totally caught up in what he was doing. And I challenged him. I said, Willie, what you need is not just a job. What you need is to find your meaning and your purpose. And so we got him into class, and he spent 9 months getting clean and sober, going to class, not just finding out how he could learn to do a job or a task, but to find out who he was, what he was great at, what he enjoyed doing, and find meaning in that, finding out what he was created to do and what he loved to do. And now he's a great success story. He graduated from our program, and he's so on fire and doing such great stuff that I have him come do speeches with me every once in a while. And here's a picture of him doing that. He's going to TCC right now, not just to get a job, but he's going through for human services so he can turn around and help other people find meaning in their life. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That work is so great when people turn it around, and now they're not just getting a task, but they're helping other people. So my recommendation, what I suggest to people who are coming off the street or just people who are in the grind is to make work exciting and meaningful by doing just one or two key things. And so we'll walk through those here. The first thing I recommend to folks that I see, whether they're just right off the street or professionals who are going through a downturn, is that you need to look at going deeper into the things that you love. You know, in the recession, people lose their job, and everybody I deal with is out of a job. And the first thing they think is, I got to find a task to help me get resources. But you know what? That's backwards. You need to find something that you really love, especially in a recession, especially when you don't have anything else and you're just looking for a way to make ends meet. And so I love this quote because it really says exactly the way I feel it. You got to find those things that you love and that you care deeply about, and to dive into those things, because that's where it all begins. If you start backwards, then it doesn't work. The second thing I recommend to folks who are coming off the street or to whomever is that you need to do every task with everything that you've got. Now, I have a great job now, but there's been a lot of times where I've had some really simple tasks in life. Boy, I've been a garbage man, I built fences, I've done a lot of interesting things as I've developed, and I found that it doesn't matter what you do, if you do it with all your heart, even those simple things, that it builds something great in you. And I love this quote from Helen Keller, who's incredibly noble. But she says her chief duty is to accomplish humble tasks as though they were great and noble. It's that taking those simple things and you do it for the love of somebody else. You do it to serve somebody else, and it makes work so much fun. The next thing I suggest, and the last thing, is that you put time into the things that really have significance. So here we are, we're going through this recession, and I have these people who are out of work every day at the mission, they're looking for work, and they just want to find a task, but you know what? No, don't just look for something to do, but find something to do that has significance. It's helping others, it's building others, it's loving others, it's pouring into others. You can do the simplest thing, but when you do it, focusing on others, man, it makes all the difference in the world. I love this quote from Emerson: don't waste your life in doubts and fears, but spend it on the things that are really meaningful, and it goes on to talk about that. And so that's what I try to do. That's what work is all about for me. That's why I love work. All of these people, these are all friends of mine, and they're all a story. One of them is a prostitute coming off the street. Another one was an alcoholic, totally caught up in that. All these people, they all have their story. A couple of little girls whose parents were unemployed and homeless, their lives have changed. And even though my tasks every day are pretty monotonous and some of them are a grind, I love it. And I love it because I try to do the things I love. I love the things I do, and I do them with all my heart. I don't hold back anything. Don't hold back anything. And then put your time into those things that are really significant. Then all of a sudden, work becomes more than just a task. It becomes something really magical, something really meaningful, and that's what folks need today. So, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.